So the wall is exactly 1.5 meters tall, is that right? And I need to make it 2.5 meters tall. Okay. So I just need to multiply it by a factor. So it'd be nice to kind of do this by working in the profile window and clicking and dragging, but currently this is pretty much the only way to do it. Okay, so I want to make it taller, and 2.5 over 1.5 is a number I can't work out in my head, so I'm just going to calculate that quickly. Okay, 1 2/3, yeah. So I've made it taller. The top of the wall is now completely wrong because I've actually multiplied all the elevations by a constant. So I'll just do my shift operation to put it back where it should be. Now, just to be doubly sure I've done everything correctly, I will select the base of the wall again and grade it. This should be the final grading operation. There we go. Well, now what have I got? Let's look in the 3D window. So that's nice. You can see clearly the graded base. It holds the wall up, the wall itself, and now I need to backfill behind it. Now in this case, I think I'm just going to draw the road. I could import it from the location alignment, but just to illustrate, you don't have to get your features from a location design. You can do it totally in the terrain module if you want. So I'm going to draw a road that goes back from here, and I'll follow this alignment. Okay, so I'm going to put in a, let's just call it road, a feature called road. It's going to be a 3D feature. Break line, sure, why not? And I'll draw it with the mouse. And I can snap onto there. That's a good place to snap. Bring it back here. Notice it has the correct elevation because I snapped it. I don't know how far I need to go back. I'm drawing this thing in a clockwise manner. This is important for when I choose to modify selected features, close. When I choose to grade it. Now that's a three-dimensional feature. It's sitting on the ground. Pardon me, it's sitting at elevation 200, and now I'm going to grade it down to the ground. One thing before I do this, I actually just about got ahead of myself. It's what am I going to grade it down to? Well, I want to grade it down to the ground over here, and I want to grade it down to this new thing that I've just created here. So before I go any further, I need to actually merge this into the original ground. So that's an important step. We haven't done a merge yet, so I'll just demonstrate that. Right. So this terrain is, I'm just going to take this feature and what should I do with it? I can put it in a new terrain. Well, let's just save this first of all. And what are we going to call it? A button or two demo. Okay, so this feature here, I'll just copy it to the clipboard and delete it. I don't know if it'll still be there. Let's put it in another terrain. I got two terrains running right now, actually. Control V. There we go. Okay, I'll just use this terrain to hold it while I work on the other one. Delete that feature. And this terrain has been saved. Now I can open my original ground and merge it in. So here we go. Now, when you do a merge operation, what happens is you essentially destroy the existing terrain, or you make it quite different. So before you do any merge operation with a terrain that's of value, you better do a save as. So I'll call this I think picking file names is the hardest thing. South Abutment 1 demo. Sure, let's call it that. Okay. Now I'm going to merge in the terrain I just created. So let's do a merge here. Pick the file, and that was called Abutment 2 demo. There we go. This is a typical merge operation. You can see that wall with its base, and it's been merged in here. And all the features that were in that location have been truncated and removed. So that now if I create a new terrain model, crossing break lines. Okay, well, let's ignore that for now. And just see what we get for a surface here. My surface now has the wall built into it. Okay, and that little glitch that I see there is probably caused by the crossing break line. So let's see if we can fix that. This little feature here. Okay, I don't know where that came from. I'm just going to delete it. I think that was my road thing. And now let's recalculate. No more crossing break lines. Surface looks better. Great. There's one little glitch there. I don't know what that is. Okay, well, I'm happy with that. If I had more time, I would try and figure out where that extra point came from. You can see where my mouse is circling there. But essentially, this surface is a reasonable ground to work from for my next operation. So I would now save this. Now I can create a new and final terrain. Actually, I could have used this one here, but I'll just copy from here. There's my road. What background do I use now? Well, I want to use the background that I just created. That one. There we go. Oh, it's got some fairly annoying looking contour labels. Oh well, it's okay when I zoom in. There we go. So here's the road that I drew before. It's 3D. It's at the right elevation. And the surface that I'm going to grade down to is now containing the wall. So let's do that. Grade to the surface. Whoops, wrong one. Grade down to that surface, which is the background. And again, I want to do this one. Ooh, it's clockwise this time, so I want to go to the left. Maybe I'll use 1.5%, or 1 to 1.5, or 67%. So I've set up my grading operations. The grading set up the same as I did last time, except for the small and important difference that I'm going to the left instead of the right. That's just because of the orientation of the polygon, the way I drew it. And let's see what that does. There we go. So you can see here that it's grading. Oops, it looks like it's fallen over the edge of the ballast wall there. Otherwise, it looks quite reasonable. And I can fix that up either by moving the ballast wall out that would involve changing my background terrain, or this is what I'm going to choose to do. I'll just move this point here in a little bit, like so. There's another point out here I want to get rid of. That one and snap it back to there. I think I snapped it to the wrong elevation. I want to snap it up to 200 there. I haven't got background snap turned on. That was a mistake. Is this a problem? I don't know. Let's just leave it the way it is. See what it does. So I'll recalculate the grading operation. Oh, something funny going on there. I'm over the edge of the wall here. The wall is lower than I thought it was. Elevation 200. Elevation 197.5. Oh, actually, I'm cutting up into the wall. Okay, I don't know how I got it at the wrong elevation here, but my my roadway feature is at the wrong elevation. That's bizarre. Well, let's just fix that quickly. There is a function to assign elevations to a feature. So I'm going to set the elevation of that particular feature, the roadway feature, to 200. Now I'm going to do my grading, and it should work better. There we go. Okay, and again, I'm falling off the edge over here, and a little bit over here too, so I probably need to do some fixing. I'm going to leave it there. I think you get the idea. You can move your roadway around. For example, I could pick up this point and move it over here, and this point and move it over here. Do the same over here, and regrade it, see what it looks like. There's all kinds of things you can do to, to make it work properly. Here's a final result. So let's just open that up. It says here that the file I can use to show you the final version is South Abutment 5. So let's just open South Abutment 5. Right. And let's take a look at that in 3D. Now, one of the problems with 3D is that before you do a final merge operation, and this one has not been merged, any surface that's underneath the background surface will be invisible. So, in fact, this looks great in this area because it's all above the background. But this isn't quite right over here. You can see the designed surface is going underneath the original ground here. Now that's not true. If we actually did a merge operation, you'd see that that piece of ground would disappear and the road would have a ditch or at least a cut angle going up to the original ground. But I think you can get an idea of what the surface looks like by looking at that 3D. And then, of course, you can do all the same things you can do before. You can do cross-sections and so on. Now we've got two surfaces. Sometimes it's nice to actually show all the original surfaces without merging them, because you get more information in your cross-sections. Like, for example, now if I merged this, I wouldn't see the difference between the ballast wall and the road fill. But now, if I take a cross-section here, so I'll create a new feature, which is draped, call it section.